Today we're back looking at r/Amida a-hole, and trust me, we're going to be doing a whole load of judging. If you don't know what r/Amida a-hole is, it's basically a subreddit where people can put in situations they've dealt with, and we get to decide if they're in the wrong or not. So the whole point of this video is basically us judging people. Amida a-hole for telling my wife off after getting her daughter to cut her hair off even after being told not to. My wife is currently battling cancer. One of the things she told me she's struggling with the most was losing her hair. We're 2 seconds into the video and already kind of feel bad for the mom. Whenever it comes to stuff like cancer, you obviously have the cancer diagnosis and then you have to go for the treatment and hope that it works. I'm assuming that she's going through chemotherapy, and 9 times out of 10 you will lose your hair. People don't realize how much hair can change how you look and how much of a comfort it is for people. You really do take your hair for granted until you lose it. She's been given a near 100% chance of survival since we caught it early, but the chemotherapy has destroyed her hair anyways, and she had to shave what was left off of it a few weeks ago. Not long after that, she suggested we attempt to get her 17-year-old daughter Anna to do so as well. Anna has very long hair that she puts a lot of care into, so I felt it was appropriate to ask her in private if she wanted to and or would be willing to do such a thing. She told me she didn't want to cut her hair, and I figured that was the end of that. However, yesterday they came home from a girls shopping trip, something they do every so often, and Anna had a buzz haircut. That struck me as odd after what she'd said, so after dinner I talked to her, and she told me that my wife had said she would never forgive Anna if she didn't show her support by buzzing her head. I'm so sorry, what? Wait a minute. Obviously the mum is going through something really awful. She's went through chemotherapy, lost a lot of her hair. She then told the daughter she would never forgive the daughter if the daughter also didn't buzz her hair. That is cruel. I asked her if she was happy about it, and she said that she wasn't. I mean, yeah, of course, she's literally just lost her hair. When I went to bed, I brought it up with my wife, and she said it's Anna's choice to or not. I just told her how I'd see the situation. I told her off saying she needed to respect Anna's personal choices, and that a 17-year-old girl being against shaving her head wasn't exactly out of the ordinary. However, my wife simply said it was to show support for her. But was it really, or did you gaslight her into doing it? I've been sleeping in the couch since. I love my wife, and I understand that she's going through something traumatic. However, her attitude comes off as very manipulative to me, and that's not behavior I feel I can personally accept. I'm not sure if I can move past this continued relationship. I'm the a-hole. I'm gonna be completely honest, you're not the a-hole. Do I think you need to end a relationship? No. I mean, it really depends. Is this like a thing that goes on a lot where the mum kind of gaslights people into doing stuff? I can understand if somebody's going through cancer and chemotherapy, whether it's a mum, a child, a friend, and someone close to them wants to shave their head to make them also feel comfortable. I'm completely fine with that. However, it's the fact that this mum's went out of her way to gaslight her daughter and kind of like manipulate her daughter into doing it. That's not her doing it out of the good of her heart. She's doing it because she's been forced to. We're also going to be doing a-hole ratings in this video, so 0, it's not that bad, 10 is awful. I'm going to give you a 0, like that literally makes sense as to why you'd react like that. However, I'm going to give your wife like a 6. For me personally, I kind of feel a bit uncomfortable she's made your daughter do that. That was really weird. Oh my god, Reddit has a whole lot to say. Not the a-hole, your wife is a flaming a-hole. I'm sorry that she has cancer, but what she did to your daughter is very abusive. If she isn't able to deal mentally with her disease and treatment, then she needs professional help, not to manipulate and force your daughter into making a choice that she didn't want to make. Make no mistake, she abused your daughter. Honestly, cancer or no cancer, if I were in your shoes, I would seriously be considering divorce, if only to get your daughter to safety. Okay, so that person saying that they would divorce the mom. I'm kind of on the field. It's like, do you not? If she's the type of person that gaslights people and makes them feel awful for not going along with her, then yeah, divorce her. But then on the flip side, I can understand why she feels that way and why she might want her daughter to do it. You still don't do that. Would I be the a-hole if I don't change my son's name, even though it may cause him to lose an inheritance? I, 24, got pregnant while I was taking a gap year traveling. I met an older guy, nothing gross. I was 19, he was 23. We had fun. I was working in a bar to make money while I explored his city. When I got pregnant, he lost interest really quickly. I understood, but I am pro-choice and I chose not to terminate. I don't really care if they're pro-choice or not pro-choice. That is awful for a man to do that. I will never ever understand how a man can get somebody pregnant and then just completely disappear. If you're gonna have intercourse and there's a possibility the person falls pregnant, you have to stay with them. Now, it's up to them whether they want to continue the pregnancy or abort the baby. This woman is pro-choice, so if she wanted to, she could have aborted the baby. However, she decided not to, so that means you do have to stay with her and raise that child as your own. I went home and had my son. I also made sure to get child support. He could afford it. He did fight it though. I had to prove paternity and everything. Yet again, what's the point of him trying to fight it? If somebody has your child, you have to take care of that child. I also feel like if a parent, male or female by the way, abandons a child, they have to pay more support for not being in that child's life. Is that a thing? I feel like that should be. Through that, his parents found out. They are well off. They've met my son and truly do seem to love him. They've provided gifts for his birthday and Christmas. They helped me with extra money so I can complete my university without going into debt. They've taken us on vacation with them so they could spend time with him. They aren't my biggest fans, but we're cordial to each other. Probably because you did bring their grandson into the world. The grandparents seem to be pretty decent. It would be good if the father was like that. 3 months ago, my son's father passed away. He got drunk at his bachelor party, tripped on the sidewalk and hit his head, and that was all she wrote. My son and I attended the funeral. We spent a week in that city so his grandparents could see him. They approached me with an offer. They had no other children or grandchildren. Their son was 28, so we had lots of time to provide them with legitimate kids. They did not say this, I'm just assuming. So they never thought about my son's name. They said that if I changed his surname to theirs legally, they would make him the primary heir. If you don't know what heir is, it basically means whenever they die, he's gonna get all of their money. He'll get their houses, their investments, but does that not also mean he possibly could get their debt? Oh god, imagine if they're going to full on spending spree and then just leave him with loads load of debt. I think this is dumb. He is their only grandchild and they would deny him an inheritance because of his last name. I said I would consider it to be polite, and I've left it at that. I actually have a pretty good life as it is. My family has been very supportive, and because of the whole court thing, my son's father had to have life insurance with him as the beneficiary. Would it be nice for my kid to get a big sum of money? Yes. Do I want him to have the surname of a man who didn't want him, see him, or love him? No. Oh god, it's kind of a bit of an iffy situation, because like you're basically setting your kid up for the lottery, but then do you want him to have the last name of a father who didn't care about him? I've been talking to my family about it, and a few of them think I'm being an a-hole for giving up this kind of money for my son. It is generational wealth, and I'm making the decision based on emotion. I think they're a-holes for thinking money is the only thing that matters, but it is generational wealth, and put it this way, you're literally setting your son up for life. Generational wealth is a lot of wealth, by the way. It's not like new rich, it's like old wealthy rich. It could literally be tens of millions, hundreds of millions. Oh, I don't know, actually, is this an iffy one? I think I will tell my son's grandparents if they can talk to him about it when he's 16. He will be old enough to understand the implications, but young enough not to be tied professionally to his last name. But what happens if they die before he's 16? Like, you don't know when they're gonna die, and where does that money go if they die before that age? Like, does it just go to charity? Does it go to you? I'm assuming you're not gonna get much. That was the end of that one. I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know. Are you the a-hole? No, but yes, but no, but yes, but then you are, but then you're not. I'm gonna give you a solid 5, so straight in the middle. Let's see what Reddit has to say. You're the a-hole, F that dude, but you're also kind of screwing your kid by not changing the name. That money is your child's future, and guess what? They'll probably want it regardless of y'all's be. If they find out, that could also wreck y'all's relationship. Yeah, I'm kind of with that person, because put it this way, he could change his name and then change it back. Like, you could just fake it until you make it. Yes, I completely understand not wanting him to have the name of the man who did not want it, but being practical, that's a lot of money, and if that's all they want, I would make the sacrifice for my son's sake. He shouldn't be punished for his dad being a bad guy. Yeah, so most people are against her. I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm still in the middle. I can understand why she feels that way, but then it's like, oh my god, there's loads of money. Your son could be proper minted, and then on the flip side, he could literally treat you. Money makes money, so he could literally be like the next billionaire. I'm an a-hole for not letting my GF eat the naan bread we ordered. My GF and I got a takeout from an Indian restaurant we like and order from usually when our budget allows us. This place is really the only good Indian place anywhere near us, but it's very pricey, and so we try to keep our order small. 1 entry for me, 1 entry for her, and a side naan bread that we share. Okay, 1 entry is like 1 thing, isn't it? That's not like a food, is it? Wait, is it? Yeah, when they say 1 entry, it means like they get like 1 thing of Indian, whatever they want. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Apologies for that. The thing is, the side of bread isn't very much, and the entry just isn't the same without it. So it seriously annoys me when she eats the bread without dipping it in her curry. It's such a waste of the little bread that we get. I told her this before, but she says it's not my concern how she eats her food, except it is my concern because she is wasting a shared side. Whatever, I let it go each time. Okay, so I think I know where this is going. Basically, he doesn't like whenever she eats the bread in her own. But if you guys are sharing that, like she gets half, you get half, that's the way sharing works. This time she didn't order curry like she usually does. She got biryani, which is rice and meat. I'm gonna be completely honest, don't know what that is. I don't really eat Indian food. I don't even eat Chinese food or McDonald's. So I was happy that I would get the bread to myself. While we were eating, she reaches over for the bread and eats a piece on its own. I got annoyed and moved the bread away from her and told her she doesn't need the bread, since she isn't eating curry and doesn't need bread, whereas I'm eating curry, so I do need bread. Also, that her entry comes with rice and she can eat that. She got offended and ended up threatening not to pay for her share of the food next time. She also called me a greedy a-hole and took her food and ate the rest in our bedroom. My friends are split. One of them says I'm in the right and it's too much carbs for 1 meal for her to have bread and rice, but the other friend essentially also called me a greedy a-hole. It's been hours and she's ignoring me. I'm an a-hole. I'm gonna be completely honest, yeah. Put it this way, if you guys share a meal, half is for her, half is for you. That's the way sharing works. So yeah, you are an a-hole. I'm gonna give you a solid 8. You are a gigantic a-hole. You don't get to decide for someone how they eat their food. If you're splitting the bill, she gets to eat some bread, regardless of if you think it is being wasted as eating. Go say you're sorry before you're single. You're the a-hole. Yeah, so that person basically said exactly what I was thinking. If you're gonna split the price, you have to split the food. Okay, so we're now gonna look at our last and final one, and this looks like a juicy one. I'm an a-hole for leaving my son's wedding early. My son Alan has just recently gotten married to Helen. I love them both very much. It's relevant to mention that I dislike parties and large gatherings. I'm not sociable at all and I just dislike them. Okay, I'm with you, but I've got a feeling she's gotten a bit anxious and then just left the party at her son's wedding. So it was kind of a downer when I heard that Alan and Helen were gonna have a wedding with around 150 people. I told Alan ahead of time that I would probably leave early and that me and the rest of our family would take 2 cars so that they could stay if they wanted to. He looked like he didn't mind at the time. Okay, so he looked like he didn't mind, so he didn't say that he did or didn't mind. That's what's gonna cause this issue. She thinks that he doesn't really care, however he hasn't said that. Do you kind of get me? So at the wedding itself, after ceremony, I basically told him that I was glad and it looked great, but I was gonna go home. He asked if I was going to at least stay for cake or for food. The food didn't look at all appetizing for me, so I told them I was just gonna leave. He said, alright, whatever, just go, and I went back to my table to get my stuff. I told my wife and she said she didn't feel comfortable driving back alone. The venue is very far from us and the roads there were not great. I said in that case she should come with me, and after some hemming and hauling she agreed, so we left. Okay, so both of this guy's parents have left his wedding. The cake hasn't came out, the celebrations haven't properly started. I can understand why he might be a bit upset. And 2 days later, Alan's new wife bombarded me and my wife with messages that she was disgusted with us and horrible things about us and assaulting us as people and as parents. Really just sickening. I told her off and asked her why she thought it was okay to talk to her in-laws like that, and she said that us leaving ruined the wedding for Alan, and that he was very upset for the rest of the night. She continued to berate us. I politely told her to leave us alone and called Alan, mainly to inform him that his wife had a temper and that he should know about it. When we talked about it, he basically started berating me too, and said things like, you always do this and just leave me alone before hanging up. I feel like I'm justified since I told him ahead of time that I wasn't going to say I'm an a-hole here. Yeah, I'm gonna say you are. Sometimes in situations like that, you have to put your feelings aside. It is your son's wedding. It's a big moment for him. However, on the flip side, I can understand how you feel because I've been in situations like that, but then you do kind of have to bite your tongue. So yeah, I'm gonna say you are the a-hole. You're the a-hole. You didn't even stay for the meal that they paid for. What an absolutely disgusting lack of love and respect from you as a parent. You also strong-armed your wife into leaving too, so your son had no parents present at his reception. How you don't see that you're the a-hole is a mystery to me. Yeah, so basically that person, everyone else is saying you are the a-hole and I'm kind of with them. I can understand you feel anxious, but in situations like that, especially your son's wedding, you just gotta bite your tongue. Well, anyways, guys, that's a really fun video there. If you see me looking more posts like this, let me know, definitely will. Press the big red scrub and see you all tomorrow for another video.